Okay, well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the School of Education Spring 2021 Advising and Registration Session as part of the Freshman Forum. So I welcome all of you this evening, and I hope you enjoyed the first part of the Freshman Forum and got really great information. We want to extend it further now and talk about the School of Education and some pertinent information that will be important to you there. I will introduce myself. I'm Sierra Marable. I serve as Associate Director in the Office of Student Success in the School of Education. And my advising population is middle grades education and also secondary teacher education program. And I have my colleague with me here this evening.
Hi, my name is Terrence Polk. I am the Assistant Director in the School of Education Office of Student Success, and my primary advising population is the elementary education program.
All right. So we're just excited this evening because we want to present to you all the top 5 keys to advising in the School of Education. These top 5 things will help you be successful during this advising season. Peak advising time for the Office of Student Success is October and November. And the top 5 things that are important is making an appointment through Starfish. We'll talk about that. Preparing for the appointment. Utilizing your tools such as DegreeWorks and your degree plans and the Office of Student Success website. And the School of Education important requirements that will be pertinent to you as a student, being that you are a School of Education major. And lastly, registering for classes. So one of the first things I want to mention is that your advisor will send you an email, one of those, hey, it's time to for advising, with some key information, really detailed, important information. When you get that email from us, please read it thoroughly and read through it so that you're aware of everything that we're requiring. In the email, one of the first things we'll have you do is make an appointment in Starfish, and you go to starfish.uncg.edu. Really easy website to go to, and look for your academic advisor in the My Success Network. We want you to make an appointment for a time that works for you on your schedule. So when you see our calendar, pick a day and time that works for you. Don't pick a time during your classes that you have, and don't pick a time where, after, 10, 12 o'clock at night. Look at the calendar, make sure it's a time that works for your schedule. And there's an easy way to click and put your name in and information to be able to make that appointment. Our appointments are 30 minutes in length, and this semester they're virtual, which means we'll either be meeting with you through Zoom or through Google Meeting. The email that we'll send to you will explain this. So Starfish appointments is the first step. Now, in the School of Education, our advisors are either located in the Office of Student Success, or you will have a faculty advisor, depending on your major. The Office of Student Success Advisors, which is elementary education, middle grades education, special education, dual major, and professions and deafness, those advisors will send you the email and direct you to Starfish to make an appointment. You may want to take a picture of this screen or write down your specific advisor for your major. If you have a faculty advisor, this is a person that is a professor and they teach as well as advise. So if you're in the K through 12 deaf and hard of hearing teaching license, or you're in information science, Ms. Lynn Allen or Dr. Zachary Frazier, they will also send you an email with information of how to make an appointment and get ready for advising. However, they are not utilizing Starfish this semester. They will actually have a calendar system that they use. So it'll be important on their email that you go to their specific calendar to make an appointment, and they will be sending those emails out to you. Next, you want to prepare for the appointment. So this is really important. Again, in that email, the Office of Student Success Advisors will send you a course selection form via email. You'll want to fill that form out completely and electronically sign that form and send it back to us via email. If you made an appointment for October the 12th, for example, you'll want to return that form to us at least 24 hours before that appointment. That's just an example. But on the form, you'll see where you need to put your name, your university ID, which is an 88 number, your class choices that you're wanting to sign up for the next semester, and then electronically sign the form. During the advisor appointment, the advisor will go through the form and your class selections, and then they will return the form to you and sign the form as well after the advising appointment. When you get that form back, you'll want to look at it because on the form at the top will have your advising code. And the advising code is very important because you will use this code to register for classes when you go into UNC Genie. Genie is the system where you will register. And when you go to the registration screen, it will ask for an advising code. And you will have gotten a specific advising code from your advisor. That is another reason why it's important that you meet in a timely manner with your advisor so you can get that code to register for classes. So how does that form look? Well, we have it right here. This is a sample course selection form. And as you see, if you can see my mouse kind of moving, be sure to put your name, fill it out completely. Student ID number, your major, you'll put your advisor and your contact information. You won't have to put your advising code yet because we will give you that. And then down in this area where it says course selection, you'll utilize this class schedule that is out on UNC Genie to look up classes. So I'll use English 101, for example. You want to put English or ENG 101, the section number, and then it's 3 credit hours, and then the day and time. So you want to do that for at least 15 to 17 hours worth of classes, 5 or 6 classes on here. You may also want to put alternative selections because what if you don't get a class that you put down and you go to register and you're like, oh, Art 101 is closed. I may need to pick something else. So further down the page, you may want to put some alternative courses in case you don't get your first choices. And then in a moment, I'll show you how to look for the course registration number or CRN. All of this looks straight across the screen the same on UNC Genie. When you're meeting with your advisor will put some notes that are important for you specifically for the semester. And because you're getting this form back, you'll want to look at those notes. You can electronically sign the form by just typing your name in, or if you have, say, an Apple Pencil or some kind of electronic way to sign the form, you can do that. And then the advisor will sign the form and date it. But this entire form you send to us 24 hours before your appointment, and then after your appointment, we'll send it to you with your advising code. Next are the important tools for successful advising. And I just mentioned a few key pieces like the class schedule, your degree works. So the 3 key points here, using your class schedule, looking at your degree works, and utilizing the Office of Student Success website, which is through the School of Education. If you're looking for classes to sign up for, you'll want to go out to the UNCG schedule. You'll come to the main homepage of UNCG, and UNC Genie is this second icon that has a lamp symbol. You'll click there, and you'll come to this page, and you'll just, without even having to log into Genie, click on class schedule.
They're not to interrupt you, but it is not showing the UNC Genie homepage.
It's not showing that homepage. Is it showing the registration page?
It's still showing the PowerPoint.
Okay. I'm not sure what's happening there. Okay. Let's see. Well, I'm not sure that I know how to get it to go to that page. Let me try it one more time. Do you see something now?
I'm still seeing just the PowerPoint.
Just the PowerPoint.
Okay.
Okay.
Taking it out of full screen.
You said what now?
Take it out of full screen.
Escape. Stopping sharing?
No. So you can keep sharing, but go back to your browser now.
Let's see, hold on. Like this? Can you see it now?
Cannot.
Okay. Well, that's okay. I won't worry about that then. Let me go back to that page. But verbally, how to get to the class schedule search is to go to uncg.edu and then click on the Genie symbol, which is the second symbol over. If you hover over the icons at the top of the page, you'll see Genie. You can go to class schedule there. Also within Genie is degree works. So when you can actually log into UNC Genie by clicking secure area. putting in the 88 university ID number, and then the 6-digit PIN that you would have created. If you do not know your PIN, you can reset that PIN. But once you log into UNC Genie, you'll want to click on Student Services and Financial Aid, and then Student Records, and then Degree Works, and you'll see your individual degree works. If you have your phone or a laptop, right, you can try that now if you have an opportunity. But when you're looking at your degree works, it shows the classes that you need as a student to graduate UNCG. Your advisor will also pull up your degree works in an advising appointment and talk about the courses that they're seeing. The general education core area is really important because as first year students, you're concentrating in that area in terms of taking the classes. You're focusing on taking courses in that area because it'll be important for you to finish a large majority of those classes, especially in School of Education, before going on to the junior and senior year classes. And lastly, our Office of Student Services, Student Success website is oss.uncg.edu. On the Office of Student Success website, you can click on Advising on the left-hand side, and under Advising, you'll see a lot of tools there, including that course selection form that I just showed you. So when you get a chance after today, before you even have your advising session, you'll want to look at the class schedule, you'll want to look at degree works, and you want to look at the Office of Student Success website for key tools that'll be important for you to be successful. Okay, are we good? You see my screen still? All right. Lastly, and most importantly, of course, is to register for classes. When you are about to register, your advisor will give you information on a registration window. So they will tell you what day your window opens to register. And this is also can be found in Genie in the registration area. But when you see your registration window, that means you won't be able to actually register earlier than that window opens. So if your window says November 5th, for example, on November 5th at 12 midnight, as soon as November 5th starts, you can begin registering for classes. You'll use your course selection form to start filling out and putting in those course registration numbers that you would have gotten from the class schedule. You'll put those CRN numbers in the boxes on the registration screen and click Submit so that you can register for your classes. You can do all of this at the same time and get a full schedule registered within a couple of minutes. As I mentioned, if you are having trouble with a course that you wanted to sign up for, but it was full, you can look at those alternative courses that you and your advisor discussed and just switch out that course. So for example, if you did not get a seat in an English 101 course, you can either find another section of English 101, or you can sign up for a whole nother course, say the Art 101 or Art 112. If you have questions after the advising session or after registration, be sure to follow up with your advisor. Advisors will still be available to you all throughout the semester. So don't look at meeting with an advisor as a one-shot deal. We're available for your questions. We're available via chat and via phone as well. Now, in the School of Education, it is important to remember that there is a secondary admissions process. And the deadline is also major dependent. Any student going into a licensure program where you're going to get a teaching license has requirements that they have to meet, as well as to apply by the deadline. If you're going into a licensure area, that would be elementary education, middle grades education, special education, dual, the K through 12 deaf and hard of hearing license. You will be required to pass a praxis testing, which your advisor will give you more information about. Have a GPA of a 3.0 and above, which is ideal to have. Of course, you want to shoot higher than 3.0 if you can. A background check that we will give you a link to, a criminal background check, and also a C or better in specific courses. So your advisor will go through what courses that the department will look at to see if you have a C or better in those courses. And then they will also tell you when your deadline is during the sophomore year. So after your sophomore year, you'll apply to teacher education for your major. and that deadline is going to be dependent on the major. The only major that has a different deadline is dual major, which they apply a lot earlier than the other majors. They apply by December 15th of their sophomore year, after the fall semester. And you want to either, if you can complete, it'd be great to complete all the general eds, but in most cases, you're going to want to progress toward completing a majority of the general education courses. Because during your junior and senior years, it'll be important to focus on teacher education or special education courses, depending on your major. So if you can have as many general education courses completed during this first year, that is great. So talk with your advisor about your timeline for working on and completing your general education requirements. Another key important area is with elementary education. Terrence will go through the academic concentration that you get to pick, which is a set of 6 classes of an area of interest. So you may be interested in history, or you may be interested in art. We have a lot of options for the academic concentration. You'll be able to pick out an academic concentration that fits your interest as part of your degree. That will also be discussed during the advising session. You'll have an opportunity to sign up for some of those classes in the spring semester as well. So keeping track of those secondary admission requirements and any concentration that your degree may have. For non-licensure programs, such as the Professions in Deafness Interpreter Preparation, the Professions in Deafness Advocacy and Services, and also Information Science, you do not have a secondary admissions process, but you have other requirements that you have to meet. So it'll be important that you talk with Amanda Shirk, who is the advisor for Professions in Deafness areas, or Dr. Zachary Frazier, who is the advisor for Information Science, so that both of you'll know what requirements that you need to meet to be successful in those majors as well. Okay, so we covered 5 key points that will be important for your advising and registration process this semester and moving forward over the course of the next 4 years. What kind of questions do we have today?
All right, so Sarah, we've got a handful of questions. I'm gonna try and work through the reverse order. One question we just received was, when do we need to declare our concentration?
Okay, Terrence, that's for you.
For elementary education. Now, generally speaking, elementary education majors, I ask that you all work on declaring your concentration around the beginning of sophomore year. The primary reason for that is your concentration tends to lean off of what you took as a general education student. So the courses you complete to satisfy your core requirement, maybe a Psychology 101 or History 110, a lot of those can be used for your concentration. So I try to ask that you guys go through this whole year to kind of look and see what you may want to pick for concentration. And then when we meet in what will likely be March to set up your fall 2021 schedule, that's when we'll talk more in detail about your concentration. Your concentration is 6 courses in length. If we start the concentration fall 21, that gives you more than enough time to complete the concentration without too much trouble. The other program in the major that has a concentration, if I'm not mistaken, is the middle grades program. And Sarah, correct me if I'm wrong, I think middle grades kind of follows that same timeline. They may be a little more flexible because there are fewer concentrations among the middle grades program. I think they have 5, and most of them are followed in the core areas: English, math, social studies, science, and teaching English as a second language. Whereas the elementary education program has 23 concentrations. So we have a little bit more to kind of work through, but in most cases, declaring your concentration at the beginning of sophomore year is usually the best course of action.
So special education in middle grades that have the math, science, social studies, English, and TESOL in the case of special ed, they declare it, you probably are already in your concentration because you declared it coming in. So just be sure to look for that on your degree works. And if you haven't started classes in that area, next semester would be a good time to begin those courses.
Okay. Another question we received was, where can we find the spring 2021 registration date and time? Those can be found within Genie. If you're in Genie, you log into your student tab, you'd go through the registration link, and then the link that says check your registration status. That will also tell you if you have any registration holds on your account. Now that registration time and date, it may not be available today. The spring 2021 classes.
Can you see this?
What?
Can you see this?
You can see this, yes.
All right.
All right. The spring 2021 schedule was literally just posted a few hours ago. So it may take a little bit of time for the registrar to get those links updated and those times set up. But I would expect within the coming week, all of your registration days and times should be available. With all of you being first year students, registration for you won't start until November 10th, if I'm not mistaken, at the earliest. So we've got a little bit of time before your registration window opens up.
So what I just did just now, if we're back at the main UNCG homepage, here's the Genie symbol with the lamp. And when you click there, you can click on class schedule and then that drop down. And like Terrence is saying, spring 2021 is right there. And then you can click continue. So for example, if you're looking for English 101, I began typing in English and I'm going to click on English, and then I can either put in the course number I'm looking for, or if I want to see all the categories, all the classes available in English, I can leave it blank. But if I'm looking for English 101, now I get to see all my options here. Here's that course registration number. So if I want to sign up for section 1, the very first section of English 101 that's going to be offered in the spring on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9:30 to 10:45, on my course form, I actually can just write down straight across this screen what you see here: the CRN, the course subject, 101, days and time, and your advisor will go through this with you. The other place is that I was showing earlier was the secure area where you log in using your user ID, which is your university ID number, and your PIN to log in and look at DegreeWorks. So I'm pretending as I'm logging in, I'm going to click on Student Services and Financial Aid, Student Records, and then DegreeWorks is right there. And then if I want to register, I'm going to click on the registration area and then add drop classes. On our Office of Student Services website, we have at least 2 videos that show the process for this. Great. Terrence, what other questions do we have?
I think the last question I saw in the chat was, are there any sample 4-year plans available?
Yes, so glad you said that. Let's go to our Office of Student Success website, which is oss.uncg.edu. When you click on advising over here on the left-hand side, and scroll down, we have some program outlines. So for example, elementary education. It's a nice 4-year layout to give you a general idea. And this is general because it's going to be, it doesn't mean you have to necessarily take it in this order except for these upper level courses, but your general ed, you can get an idea of where they go each semester. That is on our Office of Student Success webpage, as well as the blank course selection form. So if you lose it and you're like, where is that form? It's on our website. Okay.
At the moment, I think that was the last question I saw in the chat. So if anybody has any other questions they may have, please feel free to fire away.
All right. Yeah, we have about 5 more minutes, and we would love to answer your questions, and we'd just love to encourage you to reach out to us as you think of questions, and go ahead and make those advising appointments so you can get in early and get what you need and register for classes. Okay, I think I see a couple more. Did you get any more questions, Terrence?
At the moment, it does not appear there are any new questions. I think everybody maybe have everything covered for them. Oh, we do have a new question. This question is, what if we're not 100% sure we want to continue on in our selected major?
Okay. Well, the important thing, you definitely want to talk with your advisor about your thoughts, your goals, your concerns about your current major. And also, depending on, you may want to, if you're thinking about another major, begin looking at that major and the requirements. The general education courses that you take the first 2 years can be very similar across all the majors at UNCG. I believe almost all the majors, of course, require general education requirements, core requirements, but they may have 1 or 2 more or less depending on the major. So a lot of the classes you're in right now will probably fit in any major at UNCG. But as early as you know that you want to start thinking about a different major, or you may have concerns about whether this major is for you, talk with your academic advisor. Definitely plan to meet with your academic advisor this semester. Very good questions. We had some really good questions this evening so far.
One thing I do want to piggyback on to what's about changing your major. Right now with the advising season starting up, it's kind of busy across campus. So let's say you wanted to change your major to business. We definitely encourage you to reach out to the School of Business as soon as you can, but with them having to manage their respective majors and talk to their students about advising, they may not be able to see you prior to the advising window. So with that, definitely come meet with us. We'll talk with you as best we can, try to guide you in the right direction, but just kind of be mindful that you may have to wait until late October or late November to possibly get in with a potential major that you may be wanting to move into.
Looks like we got about 1 more minute or 2. If anybody else has a question, feel free to put it in the chat for us. If you need us to show the screens again, I finally got my screen to work there. If you need to see how we go to certain areas in UNC Genie. And like we said, that spring 2021 view only schedule, it's in the view only state, which means they may be adding some more to it, but definitely begin looking at that so you can familiarize yourself with how the layout is and compare it to your degree works. So you have those 3 key tools there that we mentioned, the degree works being the most important along with the schedule, and then any additional resources are on our Office of Student Success website.
Oh, new question. So for the advising appointment, it is to talk to our advisor on the classes we are considering taking for the coming semester.
Yes, so you'll meet with your advisor every semester that you're here at UNCG's. And this fall, you'll talk about your spring 2021 schedule coming up for the spring. You may also have an opportunity a little bit later to look ahead to summer as well and begin talking about summer if you think you want to take summer classes. Not a requirement to take summer, but that could be an option as well. But we're going to focus on your spring 2021. We give you all the tools in terms of the layouts and the plans so you kind of can look ahead and know what to expect. But this fall, you'll get that advising code that is just for spring 2021, and we'll talk about just the spring classes. Also a great question as well. Well, since we're getting close to the end, I want to thank you all for coming out this evening. This was a really great session. I hope that you got some good information and tools that you need. And like I said, we're always available. Terrence, did you have any last thoughts?
Maybe the only last thought for elementary education majors, you should be receiving your email tonight that will fully detail all the things we need to do for our advising appointments. If you have any questions or concerns about that email, please feel free to reach out to me.
Yes, please check your email throughout the month of October and November, because we'll send an email, but we won't just send one. We'll send reminders. So if we don't hear from you, expect an email from us to be like, hey, don't forget to come in for advising. Okay. All right, we're right at 6:17. So, Kara, are we? All right, if anyone needs to hang back and ask questions for us, feel free to, but we hope you all have a nice evening. Thank you so much.